Evening, I'm Chris Thomas. We are following breaking news impacting millions across Northern California. Many of you are watching online tonight because of the PG&E power shutoffs, and so we are bringing you the very latest information. Keep in mind, we have two major fires still burning at both ends of the state. But first, take a look. Another power shutoff by PG&E. It is the third in a week and the fourth power shutoff this month. Nearly 600,000 customers, or more than 1 million people, are impacted. It all started at 5 a.m. this morning. Now, this is how many PG&E areas are impacted by this event, those areas in orange. Again, the Sierra foothills went dark this morning. The coast will go dark at 9 p.m. tonight. And if you would like this map and more information, just text the word POWER to 916-321-3310. It is there on the screen for you. Across Northern California, we have seen people in bars and at businesses with generators in order to charge phones and, just to have something to do. These outages have forced days of school closures and people are losing a lot of money. Take a listen to what PG&E leaders had to say tonight.
And we understand when we turn the power off, we're disconnecting people from many of the conveniences and necessities of modern life. We know this disrupts people's routines, their lifestyles in fundamental ways. It makes them anxious, even fearful. In the case of businesses with some economic impacts. But the losses from catastrophic wildfire are forever, and they can be devastating. And sadly, we're witnessing some of those losses now for our neighbors and friends in Sonoma. Our hearts go out to them, and we will be as helpful as we can to deal with that terrible situation when we can. I haven't been to Sonoma yet. I intend to get there soon after this event, but I have been to Paradise 3 or 4 times already. I've been to Santa Rosa. I've been to the site of the Tubbs fire. I've been to a number of the sites in the North Bay fires. And I just have to say, I am intent on doing whatever we can to avoid those events in the future. These large-scale shutoffs are not the way we want to serve customers. We want the shutoffs to end as badly as anybody. But when a choice comes down to safety or something else, we're going to choose safety. And
today, Governor Gavin Newsom toured the Getty fire damage in L.A. He said PG&E is starting to cooperate with his request to give customers impacted by these shutoffs credits on their bills. Yesterday, the governor said the PUC is launching an investigation, and today he made a big declaration.
We've created a new safety division at the Public Utilities Commission and just hired its director last week. We have a new advisory commission of best and the brightest in this space. I recognize what every single person watching recognizes, that good enough never is, and we're not even close to where we need to be in this state. This is not the new normal, and it doesn't take a decade to fix this damn thing.
The governor very fired up. Let's get over to Monica now for a look at conditions.
I think a lot of people would echo those sentiments as well. As far as our winds for tonight, at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Big focus of winds right now in the foothills, in particular in the 80-50 corridor. Not so much over towards the Kincade Fire yet. But look at the growth that we saw from last Thursday until today. You can see that we really saw a lot of growth on the southern flank of this because of those strong winds. On Sunday, moving towards Windsor, everybody in the Santa Rosa area bracing for another strong north wind event that could drive that fire farther south tonight into early tomorrow. Let me go ahead and show you where the focus areas are going to be for tonight, in particular from about midnight through 5 a.m. We're going to actually see some of those winds in the foothills die down, but then we turn our attention to wine country, in particular the Coastal Valley area. Wind gusts in the mountains could be about 40 to 60 miles per hour. So here we are. Here's Windsor. And look at this. As we see some of these peaks here and those winds kind of diving down, they accelerate and we tend to get stronger gusts right at the base of some of those smaller peaks. But nonetheless, very gusty conditions through tonight. By tomorrow, everything's quieting down. So what's the deal? Why do we have these strong gusts over towards the Coastal Valley area? They're called Diablo winds. And what they do is they head from the Great Basin to our east over towards Colorado, Nevada, and then and they push those winds up and they cool. But once those winds start to descend, they warm and dry over the Sierra Nevada, cooling again through the Sacramento Valley. But then as they head towards the Coast Range, they warm and dry again. And so we're talking about 2 instances where they've had an opportunity to dry and warm and really accelerate down the hill. Red flag warning in effect, and that will continue through much of tomorrow. Wind gusts with 35 to 60 miles per hour. Given that the fuel is still very dry, it just doesn't take a whole lot to get things moving. Wind advisory also in place throughout the valley and the foothills. Power outages possible even for those folks that don't have the power outages right now. Falling trees and branches will be a potential, like what we saw over the weekend. This one from Georgetown, from Carroll, where they had 55+ mile per hour gusts. If you have pictures coming in tonight, tomorrow, send them our way. Weatherforce at abc10.com, or you can also text us 916-321-3310. Peak gusts so far today, not as impressive as Sunday, but still very breezy. 91 miles per hour for Alpine Meadows, Kirkwood 58, 40 for Clear Lake, Fairfield at 38, and Woodland at 34. Generally in the valley, we saw them closer to about 30 to 35 miles per hour for today. Highest fire danger is going to grow tonight towards the west side of the valley, towards the coastal valley area with extreme fire conditions. And then we'll start to see things quiet down for tomorrow. We're going to start to focus our attention in Southern California. So, Chris, this is really a statewide event. It's going to migrate from the northern part of the state down to the southern part of the state by tomorrow.
Okay, Monica, and here's the thing. For some, the new normal in California means living without power, and that can sometimes last for days. In fact, some people who lost power over the weekend never got it back, and they may be in the dark for at least a few more days. ABC 10's Mady Gomez has some ideas on how to stay safe in blackout conditions.
I know a lot of you have already been going through these power shutoffs, but for some it could be new. So I came to REI to talk to an expert who can show us the top hacks for surviving these blackouts.
These are batteries, so you can use them inside the house. You can charge them off house current if your power is on, or you can charge them with their solar panels. They're perfectly safe to use in the house. These, especially the larger one, will allow you to run small refrigerators, CPAP machines, things like that for several days. Lighting solutions for people, some of them are solar powered, so they don't require batteries at all. You can just put them outside and let them recharge. And the ones that are battery powered, they will run up several days on just the small batteries inside them. We also have stoves. If your power is out, your stove might also be out. We have the ability for you to cook either freeze-dried meals, which can be amazingly complete these days, or just as simple as being able to make coffee in the morning. That's really something people don't think about, using their camping equipment for emergencies. Another thing that people really need to think about is communication. This allows you to know what's going on. It's an emergency crank radio. You can hear the news, you can charge your phones, it's got a flashlight built in. It will charge it up with a crank or with battery or with solar, so it's very versatile.
Some good information there. Some say this is sadly our new normal. At least 11 major fires are still burning across the state, and California remains in a state of emergency. Declaring an emergency allows resources to be moved around the state faster. Many federal grants are also helping pay for this firefight. I want you to take a look at this. This is video from the firefight today. You can see firefighting planes trying to take advantage of better conditions this morning. The Kincade Fire has now burned more than 75,000 acres. It is 15% contained. Keep in mind, containment is up, but over 80,000 homes are still threatened, and nearly 200,000 people have been forced to evacuate. But there was some good news tonight. Here is the Sonoma County Sheriff.
2,400 people in the northern part of Zone 4, the Dry Creek Valley, north and west of Healdsburg, were able to return to their homes today. They're able to do that without having to have a permit, and there was no need for identification checks. However, as those people went back to their homes, we want to caution them to be vigilant. Because of the high winds, we do have a number of branches down, so roadways may be different than what residents saw when they left. So please be aware of those hazards. Also, many of these people are still returning to homes that are without power because of the PG&E power shutoff. So we want people to be vigilant, be aware. Communication may not be great.
Meanwhile, PG&E could be on the hook for at least 3 fires, including the Kincade Fire. PG&E reported an issue around the same time and location of where the Kincade Fire started. Their equipment is under investigation in connection to 2 fires that sparked Sunday in the Bay Area. And listen to this. The Kincade Fire is also impacting Santa Rosa again. There are new concerns about a popular animal preserve. It's called Safari West. ABC 10's Kurt Rivera was there today as flames approached the area.
We are just a short distance away from Safari West, where hundreds of animals are in harm's way. But for folks living here in this area, it's deja vu, so to speak, because behind me is where the Tubbs fire rolled through here 2 years ago, destroying homes that are now being rebuilt. On the hills above Santa Rosa,
we're getting slammed with water drops right now.
water-dropping helicopters are holding the Kincade Fire at bay.
Let's just coordinate the firing teams and make sure we're all on that same page.
Less than a mile away, nearly 1,000 birds and animals native to Africa literally stand in the line of fire.
The gravest concern is sort of behind us.
Peter Lang founded the preserve 27 years ago. He's confident his preserve, filled with giraffes, rhinos, and many more African species, are safe for now.
We were well prepared. The fire didn't hit us with fury. It was manageable, and the second day when it came on with a fury, CAL FIRE was here.
Firefighters are staged above the preserve here. You can see them behind me. They've come as far away as Nevada and Colorado. Saturday night, the fire came right to the edge of Lang's property. That's when his employees jumped into action.
And
how'd you do it?
shovels moving dirt and grass. And a little piece of fire would come over the fence and you just pat it.
This is the second go-around with a massive fire for Safari West. 2 years ago, the Tubbs fire actually burned onto a corner of the preserve for 2 days in a row. It was stopped both times. Would he consider evacuating his animals if the fire got out of control? He says that task would be extremely difficult to do.
It's tough. How do you move 12 giraffes? How do you move 3 rhinos? How do you move 10 Cape buffalo?
Back here now, you can see this homeowner on the bulldozer here. He owns this property. He's creating his own fire break just to be sure that if any fire decides to roll through here, his homes are somewhat protected. The Kincade Fire is just a few miles down the road here. The winds right now are pretty calm, and they hope here it will stay that way. Back to you.
So true, Kurt. We are hoping for the best tonight for everyone involved in this incident. You know, thousands across Sonoma County are in the dark tonight. But guess what? Brewing locations are stepping in to help. ABC 10's Lena Howland explains.
While thousands have either been evacuated from their homes or they're without power right now, local breweries in Sonoma County are stepping up to provide a place of relief for these families and also provide some support for our first responders on the front lines.
There's only so much that we can do, but this is definitely something that we can do, is extend the hours and just provide a comfortable space for people to come hang out. He's a popular guy.
It's a real honor to be here. My name's Mark Galley. I'm the governor's appointee as the Secretary for Health and Human Services.
We think it's really important to have a space to have people come and charge their phones, use the Wi-Fi. We've got snacks and beer, and just have a cool hangout spot for people to decompress a little bit.
Who are themselves thinking about the threat of fire, thinking about...
It's just everyone's stressed out. Everyone just has like so much frustration and anxiety. We're really trying to just have a comfortable place.
Our communities, our cities, and our counties. And 2 days ago, I was with the governor in Los Angeles, and we heard questions about what are we doing for our most vulnerable Californians.
We're not giving them a bill. We're saying thank you.
And at that point, but took the governor's charge.
Well, we all have homes, and we know that they're not sleeping and they need some sort of food, and that's the least we can do, honestly. You know, it's not about the dollar amount. This is not for marketing or for publicity. It's just The restaurant business is my house is your house, and this is definitely what we're doing.
It's awesome. Are you kidding? We have friends who are first responders, and they deserve all the little bit of support they can get.
Well, this is just one of 2 locations for Bear Republic. They had to evacuate their first location in Healdsburg, but this one here in Rohnert Park is staying open. They are continuing to provide free meals for all first responders, just as they did 2 years ago.
Okay, I want you to take a look at this. The Getty Fire in Los Angeles has now burned 656 acres, and it is just 15% contained. At least 12 homes have been destroyed, and another 5 have been damaged. Firefighters were able to take advantage of better weather conditions today, but keep in mind, those Santa Ana winds are supposed to kick up tonight around 11 p.m. Low humidity and wind gusts of 30 to 50 miles per hour are expected. Tonight, the mayor says the Getty Fire was sparked overnight Monday by a tree falling on power lines. So, what can we expect here in Northern California tonight? For that answer, let's get over to Monica.
All right. This is the state we're in. It seems like complete irony. We have a red flag warning in effect and freeze warnings in effect. So despite the fact that we're seeing near record lows, we still have this high fire danger because of the fuel being so dry. Lows will be dropping into the 20s and 30s in some places. So we have, like I said, some freeze warnings in effect and watches, even some hard freezes. Protect pets, plants, pipes, all of that. Meanwhile, we look at the winds as well as these high fire danger areas. Okay, so for lows tonight, we're dropping into the 30s. This is where we started off this morning, near 30 for Santa Rosa, where they're fighting that Kincade Fire. So it is very hot along the fire lines, but when you go outside the fire lines, when they're taking their breaks, it's so very cold. Winds locally for the valley kind of flattening out right about 10 miles per hour just after midnight. But again, those lows will fall quickly back into the 30s as we head towards tomorrow morning, and that will extend all through the valley. Foothills, where we have some power outages right now, we're going to be dropping into the 40s. Certainly cold enough that you're going to need some source of heating, and then about 35 degrees for Santa Rosa, again, close to where they're fighting that Kincade Fire. Reason being is we've got this cold air pushing its way southward, but it's that opposition of the high pressure system that's trying to move over towards the Pacific Northwest and eventually into the Great Basin that's producing those strong offshore winds that we'll see increase for tonight. So for the current wind situation, basically 80-50 corridor, that's where we're seeing the strongest wind gusts right now, close to about 40 to 45 miles per hour. But take a look at how things are going to unfold for tonight. The big focus of our energy is going to shift over towards the west side of the state, in particular where that Kincade Fire is burning right now. Mountain gusts 40 to 60 miles per hour. You can see some of these peaks here. Once those winds start coming over the peaks, they accelerate and warm, and that creates even higher fire danger on those fire lines, especially on the southern end of where that fire is burning. Now that's going to continue for several hours. They got a good upper hand on some of those fire lines in the past 24 hours, but now things start to ramp up again. So all hands on deck heading into midnight to about 5 a.m. Then things start to quiet down and we're back to some lower fire danger for tomorrow. But Chris, this is really going to be the critical time here heading into tonight and early tomorrow morning.
And we really want people to take heed because of these power shutoffs. Look at this. Some schools will be closed tomorrow. The biggest impact we are seeing is in El Dorado County. All Black Oak Mine Unified School District schools will be closed. All Camino Union School District schools will be closed. The same goes for the Gold Oak Union School District, the Gold Trail Union School District, and the Pioneer Union School District. All Placerville Union School District schools will also be closed, as well as Pollock Pines Elementary Schools and El Dorado High School. In other counties, all Amador County Unified School District schools will be closed. In Yuba County, Browns Valley Elementary School, Dobbins Elementary School, Foothill Intermediate School, Loma Rica Elementary School, and Yes Charter School will be closed. In Calaveras County, McCollum Hill, Railroad Flat, and West Point Elementary School will be closed. In Nevada County, all Grass Valley School District schools will be closed. Of course, we have that full list online at abc10.com, Monica, but this is something that we are going to be updating throughout the night as these conditions are only expected to get worse, huh?
Especially as we have more power outages coming online too. So that's going continue to take place as the winds increase, especially on the west side of the valley through wine country from midnight through 5 a.m. The good news for you foothill residents is that the winds will actually start to back off a little bit as we head towards the overnight hours.
That is a bit of good news,
Yeah.
Monica. We thank you all so very much for joining us. We just wanted to make sure you had the very latest information tonight. Of course, we'll be coming on throughout the evening and as well at 11 for Late News Tonight at 11. Stay with us for updates on air and online at abc10.com.